very, very warm welcome. My name is Professor Jackie McCoy. I am the Associate Dean for Global Engagement at Ulster University Business School. And we have formed this really, really exciting partnership with City University College in Qatar so that we can deliver UK qualifications of the highest standing in the region. Now, let me just say, just by way of brief introduction, our business school is a very practical business school. We have links with all the big professional bodies, all the important professional bodies. However, as well as being the 7th largest business school, which means that we cover all of the disciplines, all of the business disciplines, and have specialists in all those areas. So as well as being one of the largest business schools in the UK, we're also one of the top business schools in respect of research impact. We're number 5 in the UK for research impact. Now, what does that mean? It means that our students get leading edge thinking and theory that they then can use to inform their practice. So lovely to have you all with us this morning, and we will go to our video of the university just to give you an overview and a sense of who we are. So there we go. Hopefully that gives you an overview of the university as being a really dynamic, forward-thinking, technology-driven, solutions-focused, civic contributor. That's what we stand for, and we really hope that you're going to come and be part of that with us. We have then a video from one of our previous alums. Now this is a girl called Sarah, and Sarah did her degree in marketing with us and went on to a really super career. So let's hear from Sarah to begin with.
I'm Sarah Bloomer, and I'm really happy to be here today, even though it's virtual and even though this is pre-recorded. Sorry I couldn't attend today because of the time difference, because I'm based in Canada. So hi to everyone, and I just wanted to introduce myself a little bit more detail. I'm a graduate of the University of Ulster Business School, and I did the degree in Bachelor of Science of Marketing. What was really great about University of Ulster was it allowed me to do such a specific course that actually wasn't offered in any other business school at the time. It was really, really catered to where I wanted to invest my career. Some of the things that I looked at was the prestigiousness of the school. I wanted to go to a university that enabled me to have some gravitas and pull with some other great employers. The course that I signed up for was marketing, and what was really unique about this was it was really geared towards It was really balanced with theory and then practicality. One of the first courses I did was actually how to build a website. So I was getting more experience with the digital side of marketing, so HTML coding. The breadth that we really covered in our first year, we did finance and accounting, economics. They really, really took us through what felt like a very practical course. And I think even a year into the course, I thought, I'm learning skills that I'm going to be able to apply in the real world. Other topics like market research, and at the end of every module, which was really great, was there were components of teamwork. And part of that, we had to present to the class after every semester. And I think, again, like these teach you really good life skills of being able to go out into the world, develop your speaking habits, and get comfortable in a real work life situation. So I think that the course is fantastic. Some of the things that were really, really different about Ulster University was they actually brought guest speakers in from some of the top businesses throughout Northern Ireland. And again, that's teaching you real world skills that you're going to need to practice as soon as you graduate. There was one project that we had to redesign, rebrand, and reposition Northern Ireland seafood market back into the market, and we actually got to present that to the Northern Ireland Seafood Board, and we did it in an auditorium, and it was an amazing experience, and we got some really, really, really great feedback throughout. What I found really different about Ulster University was they constantly focus on making you employable. And especially in an area like business and marketing, where so much of it you have to get real life experience to be able to apply it, and it's not as theory based. It was really, really, really important to me that at each stage, each year in my career, they were setting me up for success in the real world. After I graduated, I joined a graduate program at Morrow Communications, and that again was a great experience. Where I really wanted to focus my time was in digital. I had a few roles in Northern Ireland before I moved to London, and I really, really wanted to build my career in digital. It was my passion, and being able to actually go and apply for a role in a marketing agency with a marketing degree from such a respected school actually enabled me to get a promotion in London at one of the top agencies. I worked for SAP.com, one of the leading financial services and software businesses, before I took on account lead for Carlsberg. Again, some of the opportunities I got there, I got to actually go and present to the CMO of Carlsberg. And because I had all that real life presenting experience and feedback throughout the 4 years at Ulster University, it really, really set me up for success, and I think gave me the edge in the real world. So after working in London, I came home to Northern Ireland, where I stayed in agencies for a few more years. Ulster University actually ended up becoming one of my clients at Big Motive, which is a digital agency in Belfast, which was a brilliant experience being on the other side and knowing really what the university stands for, what they offer, and how they helped me. It was a great opportunity being able to help them in a marketing capacity. From Big Motive, I went into Chain Reaction Cycles. And again, kind of having that backing of applying for a marketing manager role, having an actual degree in marketing, and having the experience that I had in terms of the course structure and my placement year, all those factors in my recent time in London enabled me to get the job at Chain Reaction. Chain Reaction is one of the largest e-commerce companies, cycling brands in the world. So it was a great opportunity to join them and lead their global marketing strategy. From there, I took a leap and I went to Canada, where I joined as marketing manager for Scotiabank. So Scotiabank is actually one of the largest banks in Canada. They employ around 85,000 people, and I joined them in their head office. And again, being an international person applying for work, it's really competitive. So having that backing of a very prestigious university, having the experience that I had in my career I was really lucky that I knew what I wanted to do throughout my whole career. I really was very passionate about marketing, and I'm really grateful that Ulster University actually had that specific course, which was 2004 when I started. So it was very, very, very unusual to have something so tailored to what you wanted to do. I was at Scotiabank for about a year and a half, and I got the chance to actually work on some of their biggest campaigns. So any campaigns over a certain budget that needed a brand marketer involved and a production specialist, just to make sure that all of the videos that we were putting out, all of the mass media, was upholding of one of the biggest brands of Canada. Whenever I moved from Scotiabank, I moved to PC Financial, and it was a really unique chance to be able to lead a team and strengthen my skills as a people manager. And teamwork, again, kind of really beds into that, which is something that you learn throughout your career. But it really started with Ulster University, where teamwork was embedded into each module. So at PC Financial, I was in the role of marketing manager for about just under 2 years. We managed the marketing for PC Financial core product, PC Financial MasterCard. PC Financial, if you don't know, is part of PC Optimum, which is part of the Loblaw owned companies. It's the largest retailer in Canada. Their loyalty program, which we're connected to, has 18 million Canadians. That is exactly half of the population, which is huge. So it was a daunting role to be able to walk into and make sure that our user base, our credit card, are really maximizing the full potential of that. My role is focused on managing all aspects of marketing from onboarding. So that is getting customers to activate into the card right through their whole life cycle. It's encouraging spend and retention. And it's a very, very, very wide mandate. So picking up the wide skills that I had throughout my career and the wide range of skills, that really started me off to really focus on the various areas that I need to develop, right from the areas I was probably least strong and passionate about in terms of finance and accounting, right up to the other stuff like the entrepreneurship and the innovation. That was another course that we did. And again, having that breadth where you're able to build up enabled me to focus more specifically on the things I wanted to do whenever I was in a more tenured stage in my career. Around 7 months ago, I got promoted to senior manager for customer-based marketing for PC Financial, where I've taken on a slightly expanded mandate as well. Why would I recommend Ulster University? It's a fantastic place. I was really, really lucky where I forged some incredible friendships there. I am still friends with a lot of people from Ulster University, some of which actually flew over from Ireland to Canada for my wedding last year. The people that you meet at university are your friends for life. It's such an incredible experience. And what I really loved about Ulster University was it really tooled me up for the real world. It wasn't theory-based. It was really focused on making sure that I was set up for success. Our lecturers as well were so helpful, so passionate. They had people who had real-world experience. So I was learning from some of the best. And the benefit of that is they have a network that they can open you up to. Because just whenever you graduate, you don't have that network established yet. So going into a school that kind of has the gravitas and then has people that are working there preaching about things that they have actually studied was really, really, really useful and really valuable in my career. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. It really set me up for where I am right now. Thank you.
We have with us live two former alum from the Ulster University Business School, and just to confuse us, they are both called Lauren. So I'm going to turn to Lauren Stewart first, and maybe Lauren, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a wee bit about your experience at Ulster University?
Yeah. As I said, my name is Lauren Stewart. I studied at Ulster University, graduated in 2008 with a 2-1 in our business studies degree there. And I guess for me, it kind of all started at school in terms of my interest in business. You know, I got my first taste for it, having studied for it at school, and just was really interested in what makes a business tick and what makes it work and what makes it really successful. So I actually had some friends that were studying the course already at Ulster, and spoke with them, got a really good insight about what the course involved. And what really appealed to me was the fact that I could get a really broad experience, and knowledge. So everything from marketing to HR, strategy, management, you know, I could dip my toe in all aspects of it. And as I said, that really appealed to me because I didn't want to specialize too soon, because I just wasn't sure what was right for me. So that was what was really fantastic about the course. Yeah, so as I said, I just got a really broad understanding, and I think that has set me up really well in terms of my career. You know, I've had such a varied career as a result of being able to.
Lauren, I'm going to stop you there, and I'm going to bring the other Lauren in just to ask her what motivated her to come to Ulster. What attracted you, Lauren, in the first place to come to Ulster University? You could have chosen to go anywhere, but why Ulster? And why the Ulster Business School?
Well, I suppose for me, I'm not sure about Lauren, but I looked at a number of different universities, and I also looked at a number of different degrees, subject degrees. I wasn't really sure coming out of school what I wanted to do. What I did know was that in school I really did enjoy business studies. So I travelled to England and to Scotland to visit 2 key universities in each of those places, and really try and get a feel for what it is that I wanted to do, firstly, and secondly, how the universities themselves felt. It wasn't until I came home to Belfast post these visits and visited Ulster University, had a tour of it, the business school, and this was done by the students there, they were part of the student union. And I got a really, really strong sense of camaraderie with the students there. Living in Northern Ireland and having done my research as well with the universities and the subject of business studies, I came to realise that UK-wide, Ulster University is very, very highly regarded, particularly the business school. And for me, that was really, really important at making sure that once I graduated, that I had links all over sort of the UK and Europe and it is a very, very well-known university. So for a number of things, it was the fact here and I suppose the views and opinions of the students that were there at the time, for me, really, really sold it to me. And it was the only university that I just felt a real sense of community. And I knew it was somewhere that I would work really, really well and that I would excel, and it would still give me, you know, the element of enjoyment of studying, because that is important, but still coming out the other end and university that was highly regarded with all types of employers.
Great. Well, I'm going to go back to the other Lauren now, because Lauren, you actually didn't once you did your primary degree, isn't that right? You then went to work, and then what happened next?
Yeah. So actually, I suppose it might be useful in terms of my my very first job was a graduate position with a leading communications PR consultancy in Northern Ireland, and I was only able to actually get that job because it was through the business school that they kept us up to speed with all their contacts and opportunities for graduate employment. So it was through that I then got my very first job and went in there and started to get a feel of something, an area that I wanted to specialize in, which was around the communications and marketing side of things. I then went back. I was working full time, and then I went back and did a master's in marketing, and did that over kind of 2 years in a block teaching approach, which was I found really beneficial. It meant that I could kind of dedicate a bit of time or a specific amount of time to my studies, not have to worry about work. And it was just over short periods of teaching blocks. So that worked really well. And I learned so much through the masters. But I think one of the really great things, even in terms of the undergrad, the business studies degree, was I kind of had this expectation when I went into university that I was going to be stuck in the library writing essays all day long, and that was just couldn't have been further from what this degree actually turned out to be, which I was delighted by. Okay, there was a bit of like the nervousness around doing a bit of presentations, and everyone feels a bit nervous when you start to do that, but towards the end of the degree, 3 years in, nearly everybody in the class feels really comfortable and is a master at it almost. So it was things like that, and the group work, which getting to be in a group and work with people that, maybe wouldn't have been in your friendship group, but you learn a lot through other people. And I actually find that's when I work best, is when you're and learn best is through, getting to chat things out with other people. And that's why actually as well, this is the smaller seminar groups that you get. It's a really good opportunity to sit down with the lecturer, and you kind of get to unpick subjects and debate them and discuss them in more detail. So that whole setup worked really well for me. Okay, there's a bit of essay writing, but hey, it's university, there's always going to be a bit of that, but that's not what it's all about. There's so much more to that learning experience. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Great. Jumping back to the other Lauren now. Lauren, one of the features of life in the business school is very much those networks and connections with industry. Can you talk to us a wee bit about maybe some of the connections, industry connections that were presented to you in the form of guest speakers and so on? And then how did that help then in terms of helping you with your career?
Yes, well, I guess one thing that really impressed me while I was there was the many links that Ulster University had with local and international business, which, those real life examples really helped sort of draw upon, bring it to life for you. It's not all theory, it's not all what ifs. These are real life examples, and over my sort of 4 years there, 3 of those actually physically studying, I was introduced to a number of MDs from businesses from all over the world, and this was really, really, I suppose, shaped my career as well. So I now work for HSBC as a corporate business director, where I look after businesses from all over the world, international and domestic businesses, and I lend them money and I help them to trade internationally. Now, I suppose the tools that I was given in university in helping me understand the types of businesses that are out there, their diverse needs, the international laws that vary from country to country, have provided me with invaluable knowledge that has really helped me excel in the job that I do. The role that I do, I'm fairly young within the organisation to be doing it, and I have absolutely no doubt that because of the tools that Ulster University provided me with, it has really broadened my skill base, my knowledge of international business, the international business world. So, you know, whenever I entered into this business degree, I don't think I quite appreciated just how broad of an understanding it would give me of the business world. And just to touch on what Lauren said as well, one of the things that was really important to me and to my sense of learning was the varied way in which you do learn. We all learn in different ways, and school for me wasn't a particularly enjoyable time. When I really excelled when I went to university, because of the different ways the different ways that they allow you to learn, the different tools that they give you, and bouncing off people from all backgrounds and all knowledge base, you know, the group work, all of those things really added to the fun of it as well.
Fantastic. And back to the other Lauren now. Look, I have to do you in turns, you see, so that we get to get an even spread of all that you have to offer us. You know, when we look at Ulster University and what makes it unique, I will often say that we're not just developing the accountants for tomorrow, or the HR people of tomorrow, or the marketeers for tomorrow. We're developing tomorrow's leaders, and people that will take up roles, who will actually take up leadership roles, be that in their companies or even in the wider communities as well. Can you talk to us, Lauren, a wee bit about that whole leadership agenda and how leaders are made within Ulster University?
Yeah, I mean, so I think there are kind of three parts of university. There's the purely academic, getting to know your subject area, and then there are all the transferable skills that you will develop, and then there's a really fun side of university where you get to meet new people and experience new things, and I think it's that second piece that I just spoke to there about the transferable skills, and that's what you really learn at Ulster. As I touched on earlier, you know, it's not just sitting writing essays. It's saying, okay, you know, we're going to do a bit of group work on this area, and it forces you then to work with other people and learn the power of compromise and communication and all those kind of skills, you know, confidence to be able to even to speak with you all today, you know, things like that. It's those are the skills that you learn that you will bring directly into your work. There is no doubt about it. You know, the first time you get a job, and you know what, sometimes even just picking up the phone in your first day of your brand new job to phone somebody can be quite scary, you know, but that's the confidence you gain from doing an Ulster degree. It just gives you the sense of, you know, I can do this. I've almost already done it in the university situation, and now I'm just transferring it over to the work situation. So, you know, I think it is about it gives you those more transferable skills, as well as making you a really well-rounded individual in terms of your academic credentials. So listen, having an Ulster University degree is always going to be wonderful, but having it and then having all those transferable skills all matched together, I mean, that just is going to make you a really good candidate for any job.
So talk to us a wee bit about the job that you're doing now, and just
well, I can give
of the different roles that people can go into from a business degree, because Sarah, whom we didn't get to hear yet, but we might at a later date, Sarah very much, she's in banking and so on. We have the other Lauren in banking, and then you're in academia, or?
Well, yeah, so I think first of all, that's one of the really great things about the business studies degree, because as I said earlier, it lets you go in, get a sense of what you enjoy and what works for you, and you'll always be able to apply bits of it throughout your career, and that's what I've really found. So while I started off specialising in actually originally public relations, which was very niche, and then moved into more broadly marketing, and that was supported by my master's degree. And now I am working for the Chief Operating Officer of the Ulster University in project management. And actually, it's just about transferable skills that I've developed along the way. So, really, I'd like to think excellent organizational skills and planning skills, and you'll get that. I have learned that just throughout my career. But one thing that I've really found is that I can go into a meeting, and even though I am not a financial director, because I have done a couple of the accounting modules and whatnot within the degree, it's not all new to me. I have a sense of what they're talking about, and it's and enough of a sense to make kind of ask informed questions and find out more. And I think that really, for me, is the unique selling point of that particular degree. It is just that aspect of getting to understand a wide range of topics, and it's served me well, certainly. So I'm excited. I've gone from marketing to project management, so who knows what I'll go to next.
Good. Well, we're clearly very excited about our partnership with City College University in Qatar, and we're going to be encouraging students. It's not obligatory, but where they want to, because they're studying exactly the same degree as the Ulster degree, exactly the same curriculum, they will be able to come at any stage and do either a semester or a year, which again will give them that opportunity will be open to them all, which is fabulous. So everyone can have the best of both worlds. Alternatively, some people might want to just do their entire degree in Qatar, and that of course is eminently possible too. But it's a very, very, very exciting collaboration for us, and we really, really are looking forward to it. I think I really would want to underline the issue that you are getting exactly the same UK degree as if you were studying in Northern Ireland, because there are many universities who actually do have special curriculum and special degrees that they will use only for their international market. That is not the practice at Ulster, and it never will be the practice at Ulster. We will always be ensuring that the quality of the degree that people get, be that in Qatar, be that in China, be that in wherever other country we have an affiliation, such as with City College, it will be the Ulster degree that people will achieve at the end of it. And I suppose what I'd like to do is to make sure that we're inviting questions. If there are any questions that are coming up there, Kevin, I can't see, but are there any questions that anyone would like to ask? Or indeed any questions that any of the other panel members would like to ask of either of the two Laurens?
Can I ask a quick question of Lauren Doherty? What was the time frame between you completing your degree and sitting where you are now, and which you seem to have made quite rapid progress? So what is actually the time frame?
Well, I have worked for HSBC for 10 years, believe it or not. I left university and I had a break of about 9 months where I just sort of pottered about a little bit, worked in different roles. Part of my degree, I specialised in human resources, which was something that I thought I might want to go into. So I worked for a little while in the local education authority, in their human resources department, and I then came across a role within HSBC. I have spent 10 years in HSBC in a number of different roles, and it's a huge international business. I have moved within Northern Ireland and mainland UK, so I have worked in London, I've worked in Leeds in England, And I have taken a number of sideward roles as well. So where promotions may have been available, I actually took an opportunity to broaden my skill set and take a step aside, to the side, to maybe look at different business areas within the organisation. And I would say they have really helped with helping me progress so quickly through the organisation, and helping me be the best I am at my job. I've been doing my current job for just over 2 years now, and the good thing with it is there's no ceiling. So if you're ambitious and you want to continue to progress, you can do that. And the great thing is, with a degree like Ulster University, and if you get into a company like HSBC, international companies, they will pay for you to further your career like Lauren has and complete masters. My company has actually asked me to do that, and they would fund it as well. So the opportunities are endless, really, and your career path is your decision, and how quickly you move through it. But yes, I would say it took me about 7 years to hit a senior management level, but learned a lot during that time.
Yeah, great. And just a question to the other Lauren, if I might. You talked about transferable skills. Okay, now, in the normal context, I think we fully understand how they can be useful. How useful do you think they are in the current circumstances, with the change in commercial and business practice precipitated by the COVID situation that we're all facing? Our working lives are changing, business relationships are changing, therefore transferable skills become more significant, I would suggest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think if the past kind of 6 months has taught us anything, it is that things will change always, and having those transferable skills, for example, good communication skills. I have gone from working in an office with lots of people around me all day, where I'm able to pick up bits of conversation here, there, and everywhere, and it's really better informing my work, to now working from a laptop virtually, like so many of us are. And it's having developed those good communication skills, I think, that, even, for example, trying to solve a problem, sometimes that's really much easier to do when you're face to face with someone. But because I've learned, I think, such great transferable skills, I've been able to do that more easily online or virtually than maybe some others are able to do. And I mean, I just think that Ulster just really invests in that side of things when it comes to their students. I really felt that I had quality time with my lecturers. I felt that if I had problems with an area that I was working on or anything like that, it wasn't just it wasn't a tick box exercise. Okay, you got how many percent, there you go back and think about how you could do better. There was real investment from the lecturers to talk around what you could do better and how things could be managed better, and not just in an academic perspective, but also from that transferable skills aspect. So even your presentation skills and things like that, I really felt like the lecturers invested in us to help us do our very best work. But I'm not really answering your question there, but I think that
No, you are. It's because I'm very interested in in how education's an evolution, and we're going to have to evolve to address the changing circumstances. And this sort of course of study is a dynamic. Yeah. It has to represent what's going on in the world of work, as it were. The comment. So no, you've answered my question. Fine, thank you very much.
Ewan, did you want to come in?
Yeah. I think certainly lots of questions and lots of information going on there. We'll start with Lauren Docherty, I think, first of all, and hopefully you're good with my Scottish accent against
figure it out.
Irish accent here. And you started off in business, and then your you're moving over to finance, and you're moving over to HR. This is something we try and deliver to our students. What would be your highlight in all of these areas? Business, HR, finance, HSBC, lots of different things. What's your highlight, would you say, over this 11, 12, 9, 10, 11 years as you were talking about there?
Well, I have a number of highlights. I feel like I've been really fortunate in my career, and there is nothing better than a bit of a change. Now, my career has been very different to Lauren's. Lauren has worked in, a couple of within different companies where you also learn an awful lot. But I suppose that the roles that I have done have been so different to each other, and it's maybe two years in each role at the very beginning of my career. It just gave me a sense of rejuvenation. It gave me a sense of wanting to challenge myself with something new, and it is a little bit like the degree itself. Some of the subject areas, I must admit, some people, my family can't believe I work in finance, because my the two subjects that I disliked most, shall we say, within my degree were accountancy and the economics part of it. And they form a large part of the role that I do today. But again, that gave me the tools to be able to take something that I didn't like very much and learn to enjoy it, and learn to put it into practice and take all of those other aspects that I did really enjoy and just make it more suited to me. I kind of forgotten what the basis of your question. I think I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there, Ewan.
Okay, it's about the highlights again, but touching on the highlights and looking at the different aspects that you were involved in, business, HR, finance, but also as well, you touched on earlier of moving sideways. Remember that you spoke about that during the discussion, moving sideways. And why did you do that? Why did you think that was an important step? Not to keep moving up, but to move sideways. So highlights and sideways I'm really speaking about here.
Well, I think one thing that I've learned through my career is moving up isn't always the right thing to do. There can be a wrong time to move upwards. And there have been two instances in my career where I have felt that I would not be doing myself justice by taking an opportunity that might have been presented to me, because I knew I just wasn't quite ready, and there was maybe some gaps in my skill set that I needed to fill before I moved upwards, which is what promoted me moving sideways. And that might not have been for a very long time. It might have been for 6 months or a year until I felt that I was quite ready. But that's, it has really helped me, and I'm a very impatient person. I like to get things done really quickly. I like to move forward quickly. So they weren't always easy decisions, but they were the right decisions. And again, these are skills that you do learn in university, and you just don't realize that you are. There were so many instances where, I would be studying a subject matter and think, well, when's this? When am I going to use this? What's this for? I'm using it every day, and every day something tweaks in me, and I think, actually, I studied this. This is something that I
have to agree.
Yeah, something that I've sat down and looked at, and I never thought I'd be looking at again, but it forms such a huge part of what I'm doing day to day. So, some people can move into banking, for example, is a type of a career path that people can go into without a degree, and they can still progress, but they certainly don't progress as quickly. They don't do as good of a job, and they don't have the same opportunities.
أنا بترك يا امبارح بالغد كان عامل لقاء كبير امبارح.
Sorted. Sorry.
Oh, we
had a new joiner, so I've muted them. But hello.
Okay. Okay. So I hope I've answered your question.
I think, Lauren, you've really touched on something really, really important there, and it's about, I think it's another hallmark of the Ulster graduate, and that is someone who is a reflective practitioner of management. They learn to sit on their own shoulder. They learn to watch what they're doing and the results they're getting. And they learn to critically evaluate not just situations and the environment around them, but also to use those critiquing skills on themselves. And some of those that critique then allows you to make those very mature decisions that I'm not ready for that promotion. I would be better doing a sideways move, filling that skills gap and then moving on. So again, these are the kinds of advanced thinking skills that I think are very much hallmarks of the graduates that Ulster produces.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Jackie. Lauren, I think certainly for me, you've answered all of the questions, to be honest. And I think that it's also touched on what Terry was talking about just earlier, about communication skills, transferable skills, being, I don't want to say utilised within the organisation, whether that's business, HR, as you spoke about, or now within the banking field, and we know that's large and complex. Lauren Stewart, you're not getting away with it, so I'm coming to you. So I'm not letting you away. And again, back to highlights of your time since Ulster, and really, how did that make you? What was your highlights? How did it make you work ready? Give us a little bit about you, about the breadth and depth of how it's advanced your career, really, as such. So yeah.
So as actually part of I did the degree, I did an internship, and Lauren Doherty did one also at Disney in America. It just happened to be, and we learned. I feel, and I'm sorry, I'll not speak for you, Lauren, but I feel like I learned a lot of how practically my degree can be applied. Through the internship was a really a real huge benefit, and it's such a highlight of the degree. But also for me, really, I really enjoyed having the guest speakers come in, and not only guest speakers, doing case studies, looking at, okay, this is the academic model, and this is how it really works and plays out in real business. And that was, in terms of highlights for the degree, I really enjoyed that side of things. I really learned a lot from that. In terms of kind of career highlights, after kind of moving on from my degree, and I worked for a leading communications consultancy in Belfast, and I started off as a graduate there. And I was on a kind of I think it was a 6-month contract. And I actually was offered the job by them before I had even graduated from Ulster. They knew I was coming from Ulster. They knew I was coming from a business degree. They offered me the job before I'd even graduated. So I felt really proud about that. And they said, and I remember it vividly, because the MD of the company said to me, you will have a lot to learn about, the working world and how we work here at Morrow Communications, but as an individual, you're the type of person that we want in our company. And I just remember feeling very proud of that it wasn't just about the academic side of things. I'd come out of university more of a well-rounded individual than I'd actually even realized. So in terms of early career, that was a real highlight for me, even to get a job straight out of university, and I hadn't even hadn't had my official ceremony, and I was in working, and then I moved on to work, go back and work for Ulster University. I think that speaks to itself, because if I hadn't had such a wonderful experience there, I wouldn't have come back to work. I made so many incredible memories there. And one of my highlights actually was we had opened a new campus building, and I got to manage all the media around the Princess Anne, a royal visit, which was just an incredible opportunity. So I've had a lot of highlights along the way, but I think those two kind of really stand out.
Okay, superb. Thank you to you both. Jackie, back to you.
Great. Well, I think, Kevin, are you trying to get my attention there?
Yeah. I was just going to say thank you to both the Laurens there. We've gave them a grilling, and I thought I'd give them a nice, easy question. So, obviously, there's a lot of added value to the Ulster University degree to the Qatar local residents, but and also to have that opportunity to study in the UK at Ulster. When you were studying, would you have taken the opportunity, or what would you have thought of the opportunity to study in Qatar in the Middle East?
Well, I'm happy to kick off, Lauren, if you're okay with that. As Lauren briefly mentioned, we spent a year of our degree abroad. We spent it in America, working for Walt Disney, and it was the best thing that I have ever done. I must say I found it very difficult at the start. I was very homesick. I missed my family. And on a number of occasions, I thought, I want to go home. But it gave me some of the tools that just the sense of independence, the sense of just as well traveling and gaining a bit of an understanding of different cultures, different ways of working, and we live in such a culturally diverse place. Belfast is such a wonderful city. Northern Ireland is such a wonderful place. I didn't study in Belfast. I studied in one of the other campuses, and I felt like a real part of the family there. So I would say if you get an opportunity to do it, don't hesitate, because it really will be something very, very special. I've no doubt that you'd enjoy it. And Irish people are very welcoming, and you'll feel at home, and I think it'll just add another little string to your bow.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with Lauren more. I mean, the opportunity to go away and to experience a different way of life is, it's just an incredible experience that you'll never regret. And I mean, I'd love to go and visit Qatar. The weather's meant to be wonderful, so I'm up for that.
And just one other thing on that, in any of the interviews that I've done, it's a huge talking point. Employers are very interested to hear about travels, about experiences of that you've had, and Walt Disney World, obviously one of the biggest organizations in the world. Ulster University arranged all of that for us. Huge amount of red tape that went into it, and they really went the extra mile to sort out all of that. We wouldn't have had that opportunity if it hadn't have been. And a number of my fellow students at the time, did placements all over the world, in a number of different places, and some chose to remain at home and stay local, which was absolutely fine as well. But in any interview situation, it is a real talking point, and something that just helps to stand out from the crowd a little bit.
Actually, Lauren, just picking up there what you said about the interviews, it's just kind of sparked memory in my head as well. When I was doing my undergrad degree and we were coming to the point where we were graduating, the whole careers team at Ulster kicked in terms of if you're going for universities and are going for job interviews, and started helping us to prep in that sense as well. So, it was really great when you came out with the amazing degree, but also you got a really good sense from Ulster that they wanted you to do your very best in your next move, and they were there to support you in any way that they could. And there would be a careers advisor at the other end of an email that you could drop an email to, and they would help you with your CV and anything like that. So that was another really massive benefit.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, well, as you say, I think the girls have had a really good grilling. I definitely owe them an afternoon out or an evening out for once that things settle back down again. To thank you for your participation in this event today. As I said, it is being recorded, so it's there as for others to broadcast more widely. And I just wonder if there are any more questions, or are there any questions from the panel or further afield before I formally...
Just one little question, Jackie. You touched on it. I'm going to give the two Laurens a break here. So we are near the you keep talking about it's the same as Ulster. It's the same as Ulster. It's the same as Ulster.
Yeah.
But this piece of paper, when I get, I want to graduate, in 2021, and I think we've touched on this before, in the certificate and the parchment and the degree, and how does that stand up the same as what's going on in Ulster? Is it really the same?
Absolutely. I mean, again, we the parchment with the coat of arms of the university, all of that, it is exactly the same as the certificate that students back home will be getting. And I really do want to emphasize that, because these are not certificates of attendance. These are globally recognized degree awards from one of the best business schools in the United Kingdom.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Jackie. Much appreciated. Thank you.